Hello again and greetings. This is attorney author Herman Franck, and welcome to another session of Wife University. One thing I want to make sure everybody knows as you listen to these is I am just starting this, so there's lots to tell. So please don't think whatever you've heard is all there is on this. This is truly in the category of a never-ending story, I can tell you. Just to give you an idea, my book, Good Mom, Bad Wife, is over 700 pages. My other book, How to Marry and Keep a Supermodel, which is about how a marriage can end, is about 360 pages. My book, East-West Marriage, is about 300 pages. So I have a lot of material to go over. And just so you understand my organization of it, East-West Marriage is about how to get married. Good Mom, Bad Wife is about how to stay married. And How to Marry and Keep a Supermodel is about how a marriage will end. So I've kind of got the before, the during, and the after. And the other related book is called Relationship Agreement. And that book gives a series of contracts or agreements. Those terms mean the same, meaning they're synonyms. I might add, I find a lot of times when I try to explain what an agreement is, I get a lot of confusion from women, like, what's agreement? And agreement means, like, if I say, let's go to dinner tonight, I will pick you up at 7 o'clock. And you say, yes, that's an agreement. You've agreed. You said, okay, let's do it. If you say no, that means we don't have agreement. So my relationship agreement book puts a lot of agreements out about how lovers should behave and conduct themselves toward each other. It's a code of conduct for lovers. So I think that the main thing I want to let everyone know right now is I'm going to go through all this stuff, and I have only just begun. So please listen to this with that in mind. Don't think whatever audio I have there is my whole story. Believe me, it isn't. As you'll see, I've got a whole bunch to talk about. The other thing I want you to know is I am turning this into a radio show here in USA, so this will be on air fairly soon. And you can look at these tapes as kind of examples of what will later be on the radio. One thing I want to comment about also, because this comes up a lot, two things I want to talk about today. Number one is this issue that you'll see come up again and again about being sexually available to your husband. Let me give women some simple advice about this. Don't even think of arguing about it. Just do it. I mean, I cannot believe how women look at such a simple thing. It's kind of like trying to convince your husband that he doesn't need dinner. You don't need dinner because, dinner isn't all that important, and you don't really need to eat, and food isn't all that. It's just like, just forget all that, okay? I want you to open up your head, dump out all the reasons you think it's not important, reclose your head, and just do it. Just fix him dinner, and trust me, you just got to do the sex thing. And you can think of a billion reasons why it shouldn't be important. It's not all about physical. It's got to be emotional. I just want to tell you, just stop it, okay? Just stop, okay? Put on a sexy dress, not just in bed. I want you to walk around the house in a sexy dress. Put on some heels. Don't wear stockings. Don't wear underwear. Get sexy, and don't try to convince me that it's not important. I'm telling you as a man, it's important. Trust me, I know what I'm saying. Just do it, and do it all the time. Don't think for a second it's not important. You're just wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Let me guarantee you, 1,000%, if you think that is not important, you're just wrong, okay? And the other thing is, we men, we know it when you don't want it and you don't care for it or whatever, And, you know, it's like women get mad when their man cheats, but it's like, I always ask women when they tell me, my husband is such a bad man, he went out and had sex with another woman. Okay, honey, well, tell me, what did you do? When's the last time you sucked him? When's the last time you put on a sexy dress and did something? Oh, relationships aren't all about that. It's not all about the physical. Well, look, I'm trying to educate people. Don't be stupid, okay? It's like, hello, it's important. Now, I hope at some point you'll figure that out and you will not even argue with me. You'll just listen and go, okay, I'll do it. I want to remind, it's kind of like being, you know, in school. It'd be like if you're studying to be an engineer, let's say, okay, and you're learning about some engineering techniques. Let's say you're learning about how to build a bridge, and the professor is explaining to you all the things you need to build a good bridge so that bridge will last forever. You know, you need a good foundation, you need a good way to, you know, put it into the ground, to hold it up. You need a good suspension, support system, you know, all the things about bridges. I'm sorry, I don't know more about how to design a bridge. And you're sitting there as a student going, no, I don't think that's right. I don't think this is right. And I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to follow those rules. I'm going to do it in a different way. Well, I got news for you. Your bridge is going to fall down, okay? And also, more likely than not, your bridge will never be built. And I think that's a bigger issue. It's like, if you don't get there in the way I'm talking about, you're never going to be married. I mean, you don't have to worry about a successful marriage. You're not going to have a marriage at all. It will not happen. You know, I talk to so many women who are in their late 30s, early 40s, and you should hear their reactions to what I had to say. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, God, that's not what it's about. I'm like, honey, how long are you going to be single before you figure this out? Some of these women have been single for over 10 years. You know, that's a long time to be single. You know, one of the statements I make to a lot of women when they talk to me about this, they want to argue with me about it. And I just want to stop them and say, honey, don't argue, just do it, okay? You know, it's like, will you just stop? I tell women this. I say, look, you have been doing your non-sex, it's got to be a forever relationship and a deep emotion and deep love. And, you know, you've been attempting that process. And I believe me, I get it, okay? I know the woman's side of this extremely well, okay? I want a soulmate. I want a deep forever relationship that's going to be committed. Oh, that's just wonderful. And the guy's going, you know what, honey, I want to fuck. You know, and that's where we have an impasse in the relations between man and woman. And the woman who wants the guy is going to be the one who says, baby, have me. Now, I know an example. I've just seen this example so many times where women are just so scared that the relationship is not going to last forever, that they will not allow it to last a day. So this is what I want to talk about today, the forever concept, okay? And let me burst your bubble. That's a USA saying when we find people that have like a belief system that's just wrong and incorrect. And we burst the bubble is a phrase that means we tell you the truth, the facts of life. Let me give you the facts of life about the forever concept. I want to begin by just saying what it is. Woman will say, I want a marriage that will last forever. Very simple concept. I've heard it many times. I mean, God, easily 2,000 times. And these are women, by the way, who are not married and haven't been married for 10 years and probably never will be married. And the reason they will never be married is they have put too much of a burden up front on a man. I mean, the man, you know, a guy comes in, he's just like a simple guy. He's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You look good. Let's fuck. You know, and, you know, we're easy, simple. As I said in one of my other files here, we're like dogs, you know, and you got to look at us like a dog. And we'll be loyal. By the way, a dog, make no mistake about it, though, a dog is extremely loyal. Do you know, I know that in China, if someone's a dog, you think of it as a bad thing, but I got news for you. Over here in USA, dog is called man's best friend, okay? Do you know there are many, not just a few, but many stories of dogs that will be gone, lost. Nobody knows where they are. Where'd the dog go? He ran away. We can't find the dog. Where's the dog? And a little boy will then go and visit, it's a sad story, his father's gravesite where his father got killed, and will go to see where his father's buried. And when he goes there, guess who's there? The dog. The dog is resting at the gravesite. Dogs are extremely loyal. They will be there for you forever and ever until they die. You know, dogs, for the most part, they know when the man comes home, and they are at the front door. I can tell you, I got 2 dogs. You can see their photos at my website, wifeuniversity.com. Go to the family page, and you'll see Spots and Diamond, 2 Dalmatian dogs. They know when I'm coming home, and they are right at the front door, you know, ready to greet me. So when I say men are dogs, I don't want you to think of the Chinese concept that a dog is something bad. I want you to think of the USA concept that a dog is man's best friend. The most, by the way, I want to tell you right now, I'm at the river, and I am looking at a bunch of people with their dogs out here. And guess what their favorite animal is? You don't see them out here with a horse. You don't see them with an eagle. They're not here with a cheetah, a zebra, an elephant, a rhinoceros. They're here with their dogs. They're not here with their cats. They're here not with a fish, not with a bird. They're here with their dogs, okay? So when I say man is like dog, don't sit there and go, oh, hungry dog, bad thing. I remember I had a Chinese woman tell me that. I went out on a date with her. She said, all men are hungry dog. You know what I say to that? Fetus. Fetus. Don't fight that. One of the statements I make in my book is, don't fight the pig, ride the pig. So there's a really unfortunate attempt by women to like undo that. It's like I was telling you before, the woman trying to convince her husband he's not hungry. He is hungry. Get over it. Feed him. He wants to have sex. So fuck him. You know, quit being difficult about it. I don't know why women are just so like, no, 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 no. It's like, guess who's going to win the war? The one who says yes. So you want to keep saying no? I got news for you. It's real simple. It does not get any simpler than this. Say no, stay single. That's it, okay? And you can complain about that all you want, but I'm just giving you the reality of it. So wake up, put on a short dress, get sexy, and I don't want to hear about, or nobody wants to hear this, like, well, that won't last forever. Well, I'm not talking about forever. My cock is hard right now. I'm talking about right now. Get on your knees and suck it. That's what, marriage is about. It's not about where will we be when we're 60, where will we be when we're 70. It's about where are we right now. I don't want you worried about whether you're still going to be sexy when you're 70. Let me guarantee you, I will not be sexy when I'm 70, so don't worry, But I'm not talking about 70. I'm talking about 25, 35, 45, 55. Let me tell you, in that age range, I'm 54. I'm an extremely horny guy. Okay, so don't tell me that I don't need sex. Let me just tell you, I need sex every day. You better give it to me. If you are a wife to me and you don't want to fuck me, I guarantee it, I will leave you, okay? In fact, I wouldn't marry you. I would figure that out before I got married. I would say, you know what, you're the kind of girl that's not going to fuck me, so forget it. You could say, well, it's not all about sex. Well, honey, I got news for you. If you're not going to fuck me, I'm not going to marry you. It's that simple. If you're not going to feed me, oh, that's okay. You don't give me food, no problem. I'll go get my own food. I know there's a grocery store not far from me. They have dinners already made. I can just go in for like $7 and buy, they got asparagus, steak, potato. It's all in a little wrapper. All I got to do is microwave it for 1 minute. Boom, I'll get my dinner. So if you don't want to feed me, I'll get dinner. If you don't want to fuck me, trust me, I will find someone who will. And if that upsets you, I got news for you. Don't say no. And that's what I want to tell all women. Just stop saying no and start saying yes. Do it. Don't argue about it. And remember my statement, don't fight the pig, ride the pig. So here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this forever concept because I know many, many women are all hung up on this forever thing. Is he going to love me forever? Is our marriage going to last forever? Will we be together forever? Do we have the kind of soulmate relationship that is so deep and so strong that it will actually carry us to forever? And if we don't have that, then I don't even want to go out on a date. So the concept is, here's this poor dog man. He calls up a woman. He says, hey, honey, you're so sweet. I think you're hot and foxy. That's an American word. Foxy means pretty in kind of a hot, sexy way. If you want to see a great song about that, look up Jimi Hendrix, Foxy Lady, Foxy, Foxy Lady. It's a great song. I think it's around the 1960s or so. Anyway, the guy wants to go out on a date, and here's the typical complex thinking of a woman. Is this my soulmate? Is this man going to create a kind of strong foundation that will create a bond that will last forever? That we will be together every day and every night for the rest of our lives until we're 70 and we finally die. And if not, I don't want to go out and see the movie. And the guy's like, damn, I just want to go to a movie. Take it easy. What you are doing is you're making such a, what we call a barrier, B-A-R-R-I-E-R. A barrier, let me give you some other words that match that word. A block, an obstacle, a stop, a wall. You're building a wall around yourself. You're building a wall that is so, I would say, impossible to penetrate. Penetrate is when you go through something. So the man's on the outside. He's calling you for a date. He just wants to go see a movie. See, men, you should see what we need to go out on a date. You look good? We're there. Simple. You don't have this, God, will she be a woman that will connect with me in such a deep manner that I can talk to her every single day, no problem, and I'm going to want her every day, and we're going to stay together forever and ever. If not, I don't want to go on a date with her. I'd rather just stay home and watch TV. No, that's not how we are at all. That is not how a dog is, okay? Dog is like, let's do it. You should see when I take my dogs out to the river. They don't sit there and think about all the complexities of the river. Are there going to be problems here? Are there too many fish in the river? Are there too many people fishing? Is there going to be some bad news? They just run out and have a great time. So I want to get you to kind of loosen up a little bit. Just drop the forever concept, okay? Now, in case you don't believe me about that, all right, let me give you a statement that you might start to think, okay, forever equals never. And what I mean by that, let me tell you what I mean. First of all, let me say it again. Forever equals never. The reason forever is never is nobody will match up to that. And you're going to use that as an excuse to not go out with anybody ever because no one can match your obstacle, your barrier, your wall of forever. No one will ever match up to it. It will just never be able to show you, oh, yeah, right, I'm the guy that's going to be with you forever, so we can go out on a date tonight. It's just putting too much up front, and you don't want to do that. You know what you should be putting up front as a barrier? Nothing. Get rid of all that crap. I was talking to a girl the other day. She desperately wants a boyfriend. She desperately wants a husband. She's one of those, actually, she doesn't want a boyfriend. She wants a husband. She's like, I don't want a boyfriend. I want a husband. And I'm thinking, honey, you need to there's like this big job that needs to be done before you go to husband. And that's called girlfriend. And I've got some other audio files here on my site about being a good girlfriend. But trust me, you don't just go from, hi, let's get married. It doesn't work that way, okay? You got to be a girlfriend first. Whether you like it or not, that's just the way it is, okay? Well, let me tell you what can happen. Like this one girl was telling me, God, just to be her boyfriend, you have to be in this deep emotional state of true love that's going to last forever, soulmate, bonded, attached. And I'm like, honey, why don't you just drop all that and go out on a date? And, maybe the guy will fall in love with you. But when you put that up front, men just kind of shy away from that. We just think, oh, God, we're not going to, we don't really know how we could ever convince you that would be us. Our thinking is, you've made a mountain for me to climb right at the start. And we don't know you enough, first of all, to know if it's going to be worth our time to climb that mountain. We don't know you enough. We're not compelled to you enough. So that's a mountain that is a very tall mountain. It's a very steep mountain. And we're not really motivated to climb it. We'll just say, you know what? I am not going to climb that mountain. That's actually a phrase we men use. I think you've never heard a man say it, but among men, we talk about that. Men will say to themselves about a woman who's just being too difficult, quote, I do not want to climb that mountain. And it means I don't want to go through all the shit I got to go through to connect with that woman. It just isn't worth it. I don't want to do it. Now, a woman could say, yeah, well, see, that means you're not committed, you're not obligated, you're not responsible, you don't have the deep love for me. And it's like, honey, whoa. I just met you. So, of course, I don't have any of that stuff. I'm checking you out. I want to see if you might be the one for me. But when you put that all up front on literally just a first date, for crying out loud, you're just going to destroy it. You're going to make too much at once. So the first thing I want to tell all of you is just stop all that, okay? Just stop it and be easy. Go out on the date and laugh and joke and talk and share, explore, have fun. And then guess what? If you have fun with a guy and you can talk to the guy and be with him in a good way, you're on the path, okay? That's the path you need to take. You got to look at all this. Too many women look at marriage and they ask, when I'm 70, will you still be there? And I want to say, just forget that idea. Focus on now, okay? Can I be with you now? Don't think about when you're 70. I mean, a lot can happen between now and when you're 70. If that's your requirement, I will only be with you if I think I can be with you when I'm 70. It's simple. You'll never find the guy. You never will. It will never work. Ladies, believe me, it ain't going to happen. So if you want to be married, please listen to what I'm saying. Because if you make these rigid obstacles, it just won't happen. Now, let me tell you something else about forever. Here's the part about bursting your bubble. I want you to know that I want you to step back a bit and consider, why are men the way we are, and why are women the way women are? And let's just divide it real quick. Women want soulmate, long-lasting, deep love, attachment, bonding, marriage, family, relationship forever. Put that over on the female side, okay? And those are all very natural emotions, and just as I'm telling you not to fight the male emotion, if I were advising a man, I would tell him, hey, don't fight what the woman wants. In other words, my whole theory about this is find out what the other person wants and give it to them. Don't try to talk them out of what they want. You remember a couple sessions ago I was saying, if you are in a business and you are a salesperson and you're selling something to somebody, and I'll give you a new example, just at a dress shop. Let's say you're working at a dress shop and you're the saleswoman, and a woman comes in and she says, I want a blue long dress. And you bring her a red short dress and say, honey, you want this red short dress. This will look much better on you. And she's like, no, you don't understand. I'm going to go see my in-laws, and I want to look very conservative, and I just want a long blue dress, emerald blue, something really nice like that, very elegant. No, you want this short black dress. When you try to talk somebody out of what they want, I just think it's wrong. I would go like this. You want a long blue dress? Well, honey, guess what? We've got long blue dresses. Let me go show you. We got 5 right over here. Come with me. Here they are. I don't know which one you like the best. Why don't you take a look at them? Here, let me hold them up to you. You take a look at this one and this one. Look in the mirror. You tell me, which one do you like best? I think they all look really good on you. And then the woman looks at it and goes, yeah, I like this one. Okay, let's do it. And then she buys it and everybody's happy, okay? Give the man what he wants, okay? In the same way, let me tell you, the man needs to do the same for the woman. He has to find out what she wants and give her what she wants. Well, let me tell you the design of man and the design of women is by nature. So you have to keep that in mind. You cannot complain. This one Chinese girl I met, it was a great statement. All men are hungry, die. And she's mad about that. She wants to kill us all, okay? And by the way, that woman, I should tell you, I asked about her husband, and she explained to me that her husband was killed and did not want to explain to me how he got killed. It was a really weird way. She said, I don't want to tell you. And also on her neck, that woman had a big scar on her neck, like a knife got her. I was like, what the hell? You know, it was really interesting. She was like, I don't know what her story was. But she is just so angry with how men are that I'll tell you right now, I think she'd like to kill a man. And I think she can do it. She's got that kind of level of anger about it. And what I'd like to share with you is the concept that, look, we're designed by nature. Okay, so who's responsible for nature? Like, who made all this? Like, you know, we have trees, we have deserts, we have oceans, we have land, we have forests, we have rivers, we have all these different animals, birds, fishes. Who made all that? Where's all that from, right? Well, one answer everyone's given is God. And, you know, I like to look at it as just nature. I don't know who made it. And, you know, someday if I meet God, I'll tell you it's God. I know because I met him. I believe more about what I see. And I have never seen God, but I have seen nature. And I've seen nature all over the place. I grew up on a ranch. I've seen all kinds of animals. You know, I mean, I grew up with over 1,000 animals, and my job was to feed them every day. But also, I saw many, many animals being born. And I also saw many, many animals mating, you know, and making babies and all that stuff. So my stuff is more about what I see, what I know about from my own observation, okay? And here's what I know, is that we are the result of Mother Nature. Mother Nature, in my modest opinion, should not be judged by humans. So I don't think it's proper, like that Chinese girl that said all men are hungry dog. She is judging nature. She's saying, I don't agree with the way nature has designed man. And I'm looking at her. By the way, she worked at a restaurant. She's a waitress. And I'm like, honey, where do you think you have the wisdom to judge Mother Nature? Mother Nature is the smartest woman on the planet. Mother Nature has designed things in a certain way. Do you know, let me give you an example. Do you know that if you remove all the trees from the side of a mountain, when it rains, the mountain will come tumbling down because the trees create a root system that give a strength to the side of the mountain. And when that mountain comes down, you'll have something called a mudslide, and it will come down and it will kill everything in its path. So, if there is a fire and all the trees get burned, the mountain comes tumbling down, everything in its way is killed. That's how nature works. So, you're supposed to have trees on the mountain. If you take away the trees, you're going to have a disaster. So you could say, well, that's stupid. We ought to just have a mountain that can be there without trees. What's the matter with Mother Nature, right? Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we just make an agreement? Let's not question Mother Nature. Let's look at her as the smartest woman on planet Earth. And let's keep in mind, when you talk about forever, the system that Mother Nature has made has been here forever. When I say forever, I mean, is 5 billion years enough as far as forever? I mean, I think the Earth is something like 4 or 5 billion years old. And I don't know how much longer it will last as long as we don't destroy it. You know, you see trees growing for hundreds of years. There are trees in California, redwood trees, that have been alive for 2,000 years. That's Mother Nature. How's that for forever, okay? So I want to let you know, when you look at a man and the way a man is, don't judge him like, you piece of garbage, you're just a dog, and I don't like dog. Okay, I want you to instead look at it like this. Mother Nature has come up with the design of man and women. Purposely different. Don't think for a minute that it's an accident. It's not an accident. And purposely made us in a way that we're going to quarrel. We're going to fight. We're going to have huge differences. We're going to think the other one is just being stupid. And we're going to, men will think women are just crazy, and women will think men are just the biggest assholes in the world. And we were supposed to do that. Don't think that that's a failure. Like, I'm in an endless argument with my husband, therefore my marriage is a failure. Well, guess what? Your marriage is going as it was designed to go. You were designed to fight. You were designed to quarrel. You were designed to go through that process. Now, you might wonder, why the heck are we supposed to be fighting? I thought nature would want us together forever. Well, whoever said that that was a law of nature? That's just bullshit. That's the part I want to tell you. It's just not true. Nature does not want us to be together forever. And your concept that it needs to be forever, I want to say it in as simple terms as I can, it's wrong. You just got it wrong. That's more of a human-invented concept that is probably coming out of a desire for or some kind of insecurity, like, I just want to know you'll be there with me. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, you will always be there. And the man is like, well, actually, no. If you are an endless bitch and deny me what I need for a long period of time, trust me, I will dump your ass. I think women need to know that. I think it's good to know. I read about this in one of these relationship books. I forgot which one. But it said a good thing in a relationship is insecurity about the relationship. If you think the man is just wrapped around your little hand and you can just make him do anything and he'll always be there, first, you won't respect him. Second, you'll walk all over him. Third, as you keep walking all over him, you will respect him less and less and less. If the man says, honey, you know what? I'm a hot guy. I got a lot going on. I don't need to take your shit. I got other girls that want me, so I'll tell you what, goodbye. And he walks out that door, he packs his bags, he gets in his car, and he drives away, and he's like, fuck you and your shit, and I'm going to go find a new girl. And, within a month, he's got a hot new girl, and you're going to look at him, and you're going to go, huh, maybe I shouldn't have been such a bitch. Maybe I should have fucked him more. It's not about, oh, well, we didn't have enough emotional sharing. You're just being a bitch. Stop it. Or let me say this. Check it out. Do it and keep doing it, and you will end your marriage. And that is the way it is supposed to go. Because nature wants man to leave the woman and go find another woman and make her pregnant. That is what nature wants. So nature wanted us to, you and me maybe to hook up, have sex, have a baby, stay together for several years while we raise the baby from like 0 to about 7. And I say the number 7 because there's something about 7 that's in nature. I don't know what it is, but it is. And we call it the 7-year itch out here in USA. And at year 7 of a marriage, everything starts to fall apart. It's the damnest thing. And it's so common that we give a name for it, called the 7-year itch. And it means you have an itch that needs to be scratched. You've got to leave. You've got to go. And it can go both ways. The woman can have it. The man can have it. And what happens, a lot of women, they're fully aware of this, that things don't last forever. So they want, before they'll go anywhere, they want to fight and find something that will get past that 7 year. And I want to tell you, it just wasn't meant to be, you know, and you should look at your life more in like phases of decades. Like you could have a husband, let's say you get married when you're 25, and that first husband is going good for the first 3-4 years, and then after 7 years it starts to go bad. Most people stay in a marriage 3 years longer than they should. I can't tell you how many people I know that are still married and they should not be married. And they're fighting each other over this forever idea. Oh, we got to stay together because, you know, that's what we're supposed to do. But they hate each other. They don't have sex anymore. They don't love each other. They're just tolerating life in a really bad way. And it would be so much better for them to just split apart. It's not a disaster. It's not a failure. It is as designed by nature. And here's the beauty of the design. The guy goes off. With you, he's not having any sex. He's not doing anything. There's no new baby. There's no nothing. There's just a lot of anger, bitterness, disappointment over expectation. I know all this stuff really well. You have to understand, I went through all this myself. So you can never convince me that I'm not right about this because I know, because I went through it, okay? And I know what I saw, I know what I felt, I know what I experienced, and the bottom line is it just all falls apart. And what ought to happen is you should split up and don't worry about it. I have a chapter in my book, Good Mom, Bad Wife. It's called God Wants You to Divorce. And it's a provocative title because, of course, as you know, churches are always telling people stay together, the family's number one. And I'm here to tell you that guess what? Nature wants you to split up. Don't worry about it. And I'm not really here to convince people about divorce. What I'm here to convince you simply is don't put the forever concept in front of a relationship as a wall, because no one will get over that wall. Forever is never. Worry instead about the guy now. Like when he says, let's go see a movie, your answer ought to be, what movie? And if he suggests a movie, I'm out here outside again today, and I'm going to have to pause just for a second. There's a helicopter flying over. I'm not sure why there's a helicopter overhead. This is actually a very large helicopter that kind of have two blades. Huh. Sorry about that. It's kind of loud. It's right over my head right now, so I can't really speak just for a minute. Now it's going up the river. By the way, today's a very calm day out here on the river. There's no wind blowing, so hopefully the audio on this will be a little bit better. The other thing I want you to know about is as I do the radio show, I'm going to have much better audio files because I'll be taping in an actual studio, and so they'll be better. I'm going to be talking about the same stuff, though, so the content will all more or less remain the same. What you should be doing when the guy says, you know, would you like to go see a movie? Rather than asking yourself, will this man be with me when I'm 70? The question should be, what movie? Okay, now the guy says, I want to go see, as I'm writing this right now, a movie coming out today is G.I. Joe, and it's starring Bruce Willis, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and it's a military action adventure story, you know, a real fun kind of thing, with violence and action and, you know, some humor. So typical kind of guy movie. So the guy says, hey, let's go see G.I. Joe. And you as a woman kind of roll your eyes and you say, you know, if you don't mind, I'd rather see, there's a new romantic comedy out. And if you don't mind, I'd rather see that. Well, that's okay. So the guy, this is a good test. It's like, how are you guys at working this out? Now, the man, if I'm the guy, I'll tell you, honey, whatever you want to see is good for me because what it's about is not seeing G.I. Joe. It's about me being with you on a date. I'll just say, sure, we'll see whatever movie you want. But at the same time, women like it if a man actually has a plan. So nothing worse than a guy calling you out on a date. Hi, let's go do something. I don't know what, but I want to do something. Gosh, I don't know. It's better if a guy has even a bad plan than no plan at all. Because a bad plan, you can always say, hey, instead of doing that, like, let's go to the zoo. Well, you know what? I don't want to go to the zoo. I'd rather go to a park and walk around. Oh, okay, let's go to a park and walk around, whatever. But you should be not focusing on what's going on when you're 70. You should be focusing on that date right then and there. And then the next one, and the next one. And in marriage, don't worry about where you are when you're 70. Worry about where you are in the first year of your marriage, and in your second year of your marriage, and your third year. You got to look at it, I'll tell you, in drug addiction and alcohol addiction and gambling addiction, they have, when they try to get people to withdraw from it and be people again, they have a simple concept. And by the way, I write about this in Good Mom, Bad Wife, love as addiction. And sometimes you need to get withdrawn from that addiction and how you can go about to do that. That's part of the book there. And there's a concept in most drug rehab. It's called a day at a time. So if you are addicted to alcohol and you just need to drink every single day and you know that you need to stop, if you say, I need to stop forever, I need to never have a drink for the rest of my life, and let's say you're 40 years old, so that's going to be something like 30 or 40 years. Thinking about doing that for 30 or 40 years, you might be so overwhelmed by the largeness of that task that you may collapse and say, I can't do it. Give me a drink. So what they've done in Alcoholics Anonymous is they've come up with a program called A Day at a Time. You don't think about 30 or 40 years. You think about, what you say is, I am not going to have a drink today. Okay, that's what you think about. So you don't make the task so big. Can I go through this entire day without a drink? And then the next day you do the same thing. Can I go through this day without a drink? Well, I want to suggest to you that it's a similar concept with marriage. Don't think I need to be married for 30 or 40 years or forget it. Look at it like this. I need to be married for a year. I need to be married for a day. And each day do that. So you could wake up Monday and say, I'm married today, and guess what? I made it through today, and I'm still married. And you can then have Tuesday and do the same thing, and Wednesday. And, the way it works with alcoholics, they have these little buttons they get when they go through like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. A day at a time adds up. I mean, I've seen these people with these badges they get. In 25 years, they didn't have a drink. 25 years. But they didn't do it as a 25-year program. They did it a day at a time. So I want to encourage all of you to look at marriage and relationships as a day at a time. Get rid of the forever concept. Forever is never. A day at a time can happen. And you keep doing that, and guess what? Before you know it, it's 5 years, it's 10 years, it's 20 years. You can make it. I hope you'll find that helpful, and believe me when I tell you, I realize these are exasperating. There's a good word for you to know. Exasperating means kind of like upsetting, because it will go against what you think. But remember that a lot of times the way you do things may go against your goal. And if it's going against your goal, I want you to re-examine it and find another way. So I propose to you, today I propose to you a new way. Get rid of the forever concept and adopt my idea of a day at a time. Do not make big mountains or walls in front of your relationship. Make no walls. Be open. And go forward with it, a day at a time. And if it doesn't work, or whatever, maybe you find that out in, 7, 10 days. I mean, if you go out on 5 dates with a guy, you're going to know, if that guy's worth your time or not. Don't worry that you went to 5 movies that were a waste of time. I mean, how long's a movie? A couple hours? Big deal. And it's all part of your process of growing up and knowing and learning, so don't worry about it. A day at a time can work for you. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you're not too mad at me, and believe me, if you have any ideas, I'm all ears. You can contact me through my website at wifeuniversity.com. I have a blog there. Any examples you want to give me, I love examples because for me, seeing is believing. Thank you, and I'll be back soon with another session of Wife University.